Hello students, welcome to Nilachal Polytechnic. Myself Amarendra Mishra from Mechanical Engineering Department. My subject is Strength of Material. Here in this video I am going to explain about the chapter number 6 of the subject. The name of the chapter is Combined Direct and Bending Stress. These are the contents we have to follow for the chapter number 6. Introduction, column, concept of direct stress and bending stress, definition of axial load, eccentricity, effect of eccentric load and axial load to calculate maximum and minimum stress, numerical problems related to maximum and minimum stress produced in a column, types of column, different end condition of the column, and definition of buckling load, crippling load in case of different end condition of the column. Now, what is the introduction of chapter 6? In earlier video classes in chapter 5, we have already studied that while the loads are applied upon the beam tends to bend or deflection takes place in a beam. There are some vertical structures are used to support the beams, and these structures are also applied with the axial compressive loads and also some of the loads which are not applied axially. The vertical structures are known as column. Here in this chapter we will go for study about the design of column according to the applied of axial load and eccentric load. For the any type of column, we have to go for the study that what is the bending moment and what is the direct stress produced in the column. When a body is subjected to an axial tension or compression, then direct stresses comes into play at every section of the body. But while the body is subject to bending moment, then bending stress comes into play. That we have already studied in chapter number 5, Theory of Simple Bending. A little consideration will show that since both these stresses act normal to a cross section, therefore there are two stresses may be algebraically added to a single resultant stress. We have to take the example of a axial load, eccentric load, and the combined effect will be produced in the column. That we have studied in the chapter number 6. So first of all, we have to know that what is a column. Columns are the vertical structures and that are used for supporting the beams. For example, in a flyover, in a bridge, there are number of vertical supports are provided, and these vertical structures are known as your column. Primarily, these vertical structures carrying the axial loads, and these axial loads are along the downward direction, and that is also known as your compressive loads. While they are supporting the beams, there are some additional loads are there due to the blow of wind, snow, and other horizontal forces can cause the bending of the column. So before we are going to design the column, we have to take the concept of axial load and bending. As shown in the figure, these are the columns. These vertical structures are known as column. We have seen that there is a pillar, or that is a column. F means that is the force of the beam applied upon the column. So while it is applied, there should be a resistance given by the soil. The soil should have given that type of reaction to that of the applied load F. There are some arrow marks are there. These rightwards arrow marks are known as the wind blow causes the force applied upon the sides of the column. The internal R1, R2, these are the internal stresses. The R1 is internal stresses for column, R2 is internal stresses in the soil. So, what much amount of load that is applied over the column, that should be reacted by the soil material and also the material of the column. First of all comes to the direct stress. We know that every material is elastic nature. So while the external load is applied upon it, it undergoes some deformation, and the deformation disappears once the load is removed. The resistance offered by the material to that of the applied load is known as your stress. Already sigma is equal to P by A, where P is the load acting axially upon the body and A is the area of cross section of the body. Now what is combined stress? Combined stress means there will be two factors, two loads are there. So that is, besides the tension, there is also some of the bending or torsional shear stresses and pressure inside the cylinder and spheres. In order to find the combined effect, we have to look at a material of the material, its element at particular location, where both effects are determined, and that will be known as your combined stresses. We calculate the stresses as through they are occurred separately and then combine them to find the overall effect as the principal stresses. Now go for that what is the concept of axial load, eccentric load and eccentricity. What is axial load? Axial load means what? If the line of action of load is along the vertical axial direction for the column, then that is known as axial load. The load is acting along the longitudinal axis of the column, and also it produces the compressive stress in the column. Then eccentric load. If the line of action of load does not coincide with the axis of the column, then that is known as eccentric load. It produces both direct and bending stress in the column. Eccentricity. Eccentricity means what? That is the horizontal distance between the longitudinal axis of the column and the line of action of the load in axial loaded column. Due to the eccentricity, the bending stress will be caused in a column. Let's go for a practical example of a eccentric load. Before we are going to find out the causes of combined effect of direct and bending stress, we have to know the eccentricity and eccentric loading effect. As we know that eccentric load means whose line of action does not coincide with the axis of column, and that is applied with an eccentricity. For practical example, suppose a man is carrying a bucket full of water. While he is carrying, his hand is attached with the bucket. We have to observe that there is a force acted by the bucket full of water. The man can lean or bend on the either side of the bucket so as to counteract any possibility of his falling towards the bucket. Thus, we said that he is subjected to direct load due to the weight of the bucket and also the moment due to the eccentricity of the load. The hand is eccentric and the hand is using the bucket full of water, and that bucket of water causing the eccentricity, that is your eccentric load, and the weight of the body is also there is a acting of direct stress. Due to the eccentric load, as we know that if there is a force acting at a distance, then that will produces a moment along the longitudinal axis, and that is known as a bending moment. As shown in the figure, we have to study the effect of axial and eccentric load on column. As shown in the diagram A, we are having a column which is attached with the ground surface. Now, P is applied. The load P, whose line of action is lie on the center axis of the column. We have seen that as it is acting normal to the column during that time, that will producing the stresses along each element, that will be the magnitude of the load remains constant throughout the cross section. Hence, we have got a rectangular one where the arrow marks are suggesting that the cross section is subjected to direct stress whose magnitude is constant at each point of the cross section, where A is the area of cross section of the column. Now, the direct stress is equal to sigma O. Now, let us move the load from axial direction having a horizontal distance difference of E. Now, this is the P load which is acting at a distance of E. E means eccentricity. It is the horizontal distance. This is the longitudinal axis of the column, and the load is applied with a eccentricity horizontal distance of E. Now, what happens? So, there will be not uniform load or stress along the all cross section. We have seen that the right part of the column is subjected to the load which is eccentric one, so that the layer of the column will be deflected towards the rightward more and leftward will be less. We have seen that direct stress distribution as all the lines are parallel and the stress is uniform, that is P by A. But while we have seen that the eccentric load is applied upon it, during that time there will be a bending moment produced. As we know that while the load is applied during that time, there will be two types of stresses will be produced. One is compressive stress, another is your tensile stress. The right part of the column will be subjected to your stress, that is your tensile stress, and there will be a left side that will be a compressive stress. Why there is a tensile stress at right side? Because the resistance force offered by the body should not be deflected, hence it is tensile. And at the left, there should not be a that should be a